The icy winds howled across Glacier 7, a remote planetary research station suspended between the razor-sharp edges of crystalline mountains and infinite darkness. Hyun-Ki Park adjusted his thermal gear, watching the swirling storm that would make most creatures retreat into their protective shelters. But not him. Not today. The Velox research vessel hung like a massive metallic spider in the upper atmosphere, its quantum-stabilized hull reflecting the pale blue light of the distant twin moons. Inside, Arya watched the human through her multispectral observation systems, her neural interfaces buzzing with confusion and intrigue. Hyun-Ki's breath created small clouds of vapor that danced and disappeared in the extreme cold. His movements were calculated, each step purposeful across the treacherous terrain. Decades of mountain rescue training in the Korean alpine regions had prepared him for environments that would crush most life forms. A sudden electromagnetic pulse rippled through the atmosphere. Robotic reconnaissance drones, sleek insectoid machines with quantum-adaptive sensors, began scanning the surrounding landscape. They moved with mechanical precision, their crystalline sensors detecting even the slightest environmental change. Arya zoomed her visual systems, tracking every micro-movement of the human. His equipment was surprisingly simple, a reinforced thermal suit, advanced but not excessively complex. No advanced force fields, no molecular stabilization technology, just human engineering and pure survival instinct. A massive crystalline creature emerged from a nearby ice formation, a native life form resembling a cross between a spider and a living glacier. Its translucent body reflected the surrounding environment, making it almost invisible. Most would consider this an immediate threat, but Hyun-Ki remained calm. The creature's multiple razor-sharp appendages could slice through standard protective gear in milliseconds. Yet, Hyun-Ki simply observed, his hand subtly moving towards a compact energy dispersal device on his belt. Not a weapon of destruction, but a tool of communication and potential defense. Arya's neural networks were processing millions of data points per second. How could this fragile human survive? His biological system seemed ridiculously under-equipped compared to the advanced technological enhancements of her Velox civilization. No quantum reinforcement, no cellular regeneration modules, no adaptive, genetic restructuring. A communication burst from her ship's central computer translated the creature's vibrational language. It was curious, not aggressive. The massive crystalline being was studying Hyun-Ki with the same intensity that Arya was observing him. Suddenly, a massive wind current swept across the glacier, carrying chunks of ice the size of small vehicles. Any standard biological entity would be crushed or frozen instantly. But Hyun-Ki, he simply braced himself, used the momentum of the wind, and maintained his balance with an almost dance-like precision. The robotic drones continued their systematic scan, their quantum processors trying to comprehend the human's survival strategy. They recorded every breath, every muscle movement, every subtle adaptation Hyun-Ki made to the extreme environment. Arya felt something she had never experienced before, a mixture of respect, confusion, and an overwhelming desire to understand. Humans were supposed to be a relatively young species, technologically primitive compared to the Velox. Yet here was Hyun-Ki, defying every scientific prediction and standard survival algorithm. A small communication device on Hyun-Ki's wrist blinked. A message from the research base, a brief update about atmospheric conditions and potential geological shifts. His response was calm, almost casual, as if discussing the weather during a pleasant afternoon walk. The crystalline creature moved closer, its massive form creating mini-avalanches with each step. Most would interpret this as a threat. But Hyun-Ki remained steady, his body language communicating neither fear nor aggression, just pure calm awareness. In that moment, suspended between the infinite coldness of space and the treacherous landscape of Glacier 7, something remarkable was happening. A human was not just surviving, but communicating with an environment that should have killed him multiple times over. Arya's entire understanding of biological adaptation was about to be rewritten. End of Part 1. The research station's central laboratory buzzed with an unusual energy. Arya's neural interfaces were working overtime, analyzing every recorded moment of Hyun-Ki's extraordinary survival on Glacier 7. Digital reconstructions of his movements flickered across holographic displays, each frame revealing something new and unexpected. Her fellow Velox researchers found her obsession puzzling. "Why waste computational resources on a single human?" they would ask. But Arya knew something profound was happening. This wasn't just about survival, it was about understanding a completely different approach to existence. Hyun-Ki's personal logs became her primary source of fascination. Recordings from his previous expeditions showed a pattern of remarkable adaptability. There was a video from a rescue mission in the Himalayan mountains where he had saved a team of climbers during a sudden blizzard. His movements were calculated, yet instinctive, a dance between human willpower and environmental challenge. The station's advanced AI system began running complex simulations. It compared Hyun-Ki's physiological responses with standard survival models, and each time the results were the same, impossible yet happening. His body regulated temperature through mechanisms that seemed to defy conventional biological understanding. A robotic assistant rolled up to Arya's workstation, its quantum processors humming softly. "Analyzing human survival parameters," it announced in a neutral tone. "Recommendation: further direct observation required." Outside the laboratory, the research station's external sensors continued tracking Hyun-Ki's movements. He was now conducting a geological survey, his steps precise, his equipment minimal. Most researchers would require extensive protective gear and multiple support systems. He moved like he was simply taking a walk in a local park. Arya discovered something remarkable in his medical records. Previous exposure to extreme environments hadn't just been survived, they had actually enhanced his physiological capabilities. Each challenging experience seemed to upgrade his body's internal systems, a concept entirely foreign to the Velox's technological approach to biological enhancement. The station's communication network picked up a transmission from Earth. It was a casual conversation between Hyun-Ki and his research team, discussing weather patterns and geological formations. The ease with which he described potentially life-threatening conditions was remarkable. Quantum-enhanced holographic projections began reconstructing his previous missions: a rescue operation in the Arctic, a geological survey in the Atacama Desert, each environment more extreme than the last, each mission completed with a blend of scientific precision and human adaptability that seemed almost magical. Robotic reconnaissance drones continued gathering additional data. They tracked his metabolic rates, oxygen consumption, and cellular regeneration. Every measurement challenged existing scientific understanding. How could a biological entity be so perfectly adapted to multiple extreme environments? Arya's personal research database expanded exponentially. She began creating comparative models, studying human evolutionary adaptations. The more she learned, the more fascinating the species became. Humans weren't just surviving, they were transforming their very relationship with challenging environments. A sudden atmospheric disturbance outside caught everyone's attention. Most researchers would retreat to safety. Hyun-Ki simply adjusted his equipment, checked his environmental sensors, and continued working. His calm was not arrogance, but a deep understanding of his own capabilities. The station's chief scientist, a veteran Velox researcher, watched Arya's growing fascination with a mixture of amusement and concern. "Be careful," he warned. "Understanding humans is not just about scientific data, it's about understanding a completely different approach to existence." Quantum simulations ran in the background, each one revealing new layers of human adaptability. Muscle memory, metabolic efficiency, psychological resilience. These weren't just biological functions. They were a complex, interconnected system of survival that went beyond technological enhancement. Arya realized she was witnessing something extraordinary. This wasn't just about a human surviving in an extreme environment. This was about a species that had developed an intimate, almost spiritual relationship with challenge itself. As the artificial lights of the research station dimmed, signaling the end of another research cycle, Arya knew her understanding of life was about to change forever. Hyun-Ki represented more than just an individual. He was a window into a profound understanding of survival, adaptation, and human potential. The holographic archives flickered to life, casting a soft blue glow across Arya's research chamber. Centuries of human exploration unfolded like a living tapestry, each moment challenging everything she knew about survival and adaptation. Hyun-Ki's personal data crystal contained more than just scientific records. It was a portal into human resilience, a collection of stories that defied logic. The first image that caught her attention was of an elderly Korean explorer standing atop a frozen mountain peak, wearing nothing more than a standard winter jacket, surrounded by a landscape that looked like it could freeze breath in mid-air. The station's quantum database began reconstructing historical narratives. Expeditions that seemed impossible, humans traversing the Antarctic wilderness, surviving months without advanced technological support, navigating through environments that would obliterate most known biological systems. Each story was a testament to something beyond mere survival. It was pure human spirit. Robotic archival assistants began pulling additional historical records. A particularly fascinating segment showed indigenous communities in extreme Arctic regions. Their bodies adapted to temperatures that would kill most advanced species. Their clothing, survival techniques, and understanding of environmental challenges were more sophisticated than any technological solution Arya's civilization had developed. A remarkable recording caught her attention. A documentary about Shackleton's Antarctic expedition. 28 men trapped in impossible conditions, surviving for months on nothing more than human willpower, limited supplies, and an unbreakable team spirit. No advanced life support systems, no quantum regeneration technology, just pure human determination. The research station's environmental simulation chamber activated, creating a holographic reconstruction of various human survival scenarios. Each projection showed humans adapting, not through technological enhancement, but through incredible mental and physical resilience. They didn't just survive, they found ways to thrive in conditions that should have been impossible. Quantum processors analyzed thousands of historical records simultaneously. Mountain climbers scaling impossible peaks, desert explorers crossing endless landscapes, deep sea researchers exploring extreme underwater environments. The common thread was always the same, an inexplicable human capacity to push beyond known limitations. Hyun-Ki's personal logs began playing automatically. His grandfather's stories about mountain rescue missions in the Korean wilderness added another layer of complexity to Arya's understanding. These weren't just survival stories, they were narratives of human connection, of choosing collective survival over individual preservation. The station's advanced AI began running comparative analysis, human survival rates in extreme conditions versus technologically enhanced species showed something unprecedented. Humans didn't just survive, they evolved through challenge, their very biology becoming a dynamic, adaptive system. Robotic archival drones projected images of human space exploration. Early missions to the Moon, Mars expeditions, long-duration space station experiences. Each mission revealed a species willing to risk everything for knowledge and exploration. No advanced protective technologies, just incredible human spirit. And careful preparation. Arya's neural interfaces were overwhelmed. Traditional Velox understanding suggested that survival required advanced technological intervention. But these human records demonstrated something entirely different. Survival was as much about mental strength as physical capability. A particularly fascinating segment showed human medical adaptations. Stories of individuals surviving incredible injuries, of the human body's remarkable regenerative capabilities, of psychological resilience that defied all scientific predictions. Each record challenged her entire understanding of biological limitations. The research station's main display shifted, showing a timeline of human exploration. From prehistoric migrations across harsh landscapes to modern space exploration, humans had consistently demonstrated an ability to transform challenge into opportunity. They didn't just adapt to environments, they reimagined their relationship with them. Hyun-Ki's personal message crystal contained one final recording, a simple statement that would change everything. "Survival isn't about having the best technology," his grandfather's voice echoed. "It's about understanding your environment, respecting its challenges, and believing in your ability to overcome." As the holographic archives continued their dance of historical revelations, Arya realized she was witnessing something extraordinary. Humans weren't just a species, they were a dynamic, evolving concept of survival itself. The universe, she understood now, was not just about technological superiority. It was about spirit, adaptation, and an unbreakable will to explore and survive. End of Part 3. The transformation chamber hummed with an electric anticipation. Quantum molecular restructuring units surrounded Arya, their crystalline surfaces reflecting her determination. This wasn't just a scientific experiment. This was a personal revolution. Hyun-Ki watched from behind the advanced observation glass, his expression a mixture of curiosity and cautious respect. The Velox research team had initially rejected her proposal. Attempting to replicate human biological adaptation was considered scientific heresy. Arya's neural interfaces connected with the station's advanced biomodification systems. Traditional Velox enhancement always followed a predictable pattern: technological intervention, precise genetic manipulation, complete computational control. But her approach was different. She was trying to understand human adaptability at its most fundamental level. The first stage involved studying Hyun-Ki's genetic markers. Quantum sequences mapped his DNA, revealing intricate adaptation mechanisms that seemed to defy conventional biological understanding. His genetic structure showed remarkable flexibility. Each environmental challenge appeared to trigger subtle evolutionary responses. Robotic medical assistants worked alongside her, their quantum processors struggling to comprehend her unconventional approach. They were used to precise, calculated modifications. Arya was attempting something radical: biological learning through experience, not just technological intervention. Small nano-adaptive implants began integrating with her cellular structure. Unlike standard Velox enhancements that provided immediate technological superiority, these were designed to mimic human adaptive capabilities, the ability to learn, to adjust, to grow through challenge. The research station's environmental chamber transformed, creating increasingly complex survival scenarios. Extreme temperature variations, high-pressure environments, limited oxygen conditions, each test pushed the boundaries of biological adaptation. Hyun-Ki's recorded survival techniques became her primary training manual. How he regulated body temperature, managed oxygen consumption, maintained psychological stability. These were not just survival skills, but a complex philosophy of existence. Quantum holographic projections demonstrated human survival techniques from various historical expeditions. Indigenous Arctic communities, mountain rescue teams, deep-sea explorers. Each group had developed unique adaptive strategies that went beyond technological solution. The transformation process was painful. Molecular restructuring created intense physiological stress. But Arya understood now that human adaptation wasn't about avoiding pain. It was about understanding and growing through challenging experiences. Robotic monitoring systems tracked her progress with increasing fascination. Her cellular structure was developing capabilities that defied their computational models. She wasn't just mimicking human adaptation, she was creating an entirely new approach to biological enhancement. A sudden atmospheric disturbance outside. The research station added unexpected complexity to her transformation. Most Velox researchers would have immediately sought technological protection. Arya's newly developing adaptive systems began processing the environmental challenge with a remarkable calm. Her neural interfaces started displaying information differently. Instead of cold computational data streams, she was experiencing environmental information with a new sense of connection. The difference between observing a challenge and experiencing it became increasingly blurred. Hyun-Ki's voice came through, the communication system calm and encouraging. Adaptation isn't about perfection, he explained. It's about continuous learning and maintaining core stability through change. The transformation chamber's quantum fields began stabilizing her. New biological configuration. What had started as a scientific experiment was becoming something more profound, a bridge between two fundamentally different approaches to existence. Robotic medical assistants recorded unprecedented biological changes. Aria's cellular structure was developing adaptive mechanisms that combined Velok's technological precision with human biological flexibility. She wasn't just modifying her body, she was redefining the concept of biological adaptation. As the final transformation sequence completed, Aria realized she had become something entirely new. Not just a Velok's researcher, not just a human-inspired adaptive being, but a living testament to the potential of biological and technological integration. The observation glass reflected her changed form, still recognizably Velok's, but with a newfound complexity that suggested unlimited potential. She had done more than study human adaptation. She had experienced it, lived it, become it. Chantovimi. Part 4. The harsh landscape of Quantum 9 stretched before Aria like an endless challenge, its crystalline terrain shifting with unpredictable geological rhythms. This was the ultimate test, a planetary environment that had defeated countless advanced exploration teams from multiple galactic civilizations. Her modified biological systems hummed with an energy that felt distinctly different from her previous Velok's configuration. The nano-adaptive implants developed through her study of human survival techniques were about to face their most significant challenge. Hyun-Ki's voice crackled through the communication system, a distant but steady presence. "Remember," he said, "survival isn't about conquering the environment, it's about understanding and respecting it." Robotic reconnaissance drones circled overhead, their quantum sensors unable to comprehend the biological adaptations Aria had developed. Her cellular structure now responded to environmental challenges with a flexibility that defied traditional scientific understanding. The planetary surface was a nightmare of contradictions. Temperatures fluctuated between extreme cold and sudden heat bursts. Gravitational waves created unpredictable terrain shifts. Atmospheric composition changed every few minutes, making standard breathing equipment completely useless. Where previous Velok's exploration teams had failed, losing multiple advanced technological units and suffering catastrophic mission failures, Aria moved with an almost intuitive grace. Her breathing adjusted automatically, her muscular systems redistributing energy with remarkable efficiency. Quantum data streams recorded her progress, creating a real-time map of biological adaptation that would revolutionize understanding of survival mechanics. Each step was a complex negotiation between her biological systems and the challenging environment. Massive crystalline formations erupted around her, creating sudden geological barriers. Traditional exploration teams would require extensive technological intervention. Aria simply observed, calculated, and found alternative pathways, exactly as Hyun-Ki had demonstrated in his Arctic and mountain rescue missions. The research station's primary computer continued tracking her progress with increasing fascination. Her biological modifications weren't just surviving, they were learning, evolving with each moment of environmental interaction. A sudden atmospheric plasma storm erupted, creating electromagnetic interference that would typically disable most advanced exploration systems. Aria's adaptive systems merely adjusted, her neural interfaces recalibrating with remarkable speed. Hyun-Ki watched from the remote monitoring station, a sense of pride mixing with scientific curiosity. What had begun as a simple research project had transformed into something far more significant, a living demonstration of human-inspired biological potential. Robotic medical assistants continued recording unprecedented biological data. Aria's cellular structure was demonstrating capabilities that challenged fundamental understanding of biological adaptation. She wasn't just surviving, she was thriving in an environment that should have been impossible. The planetary surface continued its relentless assault. Gravitational anomalies, sudden temperature shifts, unpredictable atmospheric changes. Each challenge became an opportunity for her modified systems to demonstrate their remarkable flexibility. Quantum holographic projections tracked her progress, creating a real-time visualization of biological adaptation that would revolutionize multiple scientific disciplines. This was more than an exploration mission. This was a fundamental reimagining of survival itself. As the mission entered its final stages, Arya realized she had done more than complete a scientific expedition. She had bridged the gap between technological enhancement and biological adaptation, creating a new understanding of survival that combined the best of human spirit and technological precision. The research station's primary communication system lit up with incoming transmissions. Scientific teams from multiple galactic civilizations were watching, their computational systems struggling to process the unprecedented biological performance they were witnessing. Hyun-Ki's final transmission came through with crystal clarity. "Adaptation is not about having the most advanced technology," he said. "It's about maintaining your core purpose while remaining flexible enough to grow." As Arya completed her mission, she understood now what human survival truly meant. It wasn't about conquering challenges. It was about understanding them, respecting them, and finding a way to coexist with them. The planetary exploration of Quantum 9 was complete, but something far more significant had just begun: a new understanding of biological potential that would change everything. End of Part 5. End of Part 2.